Hello, 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 hello. Late stream, I know. Sorry, kept hearing myself there. Yeah, sorry. I know it's a late stream, but we're jumping in right now. I'm gonna react to the episode. At first, I was like having a hard time like streaming, and some stuff was going on. But I talked to my mom, and it helped me like kind of get my shit together and not feel like crap. So okay, let's react to the episode. Okay. Yesterday made me feel disgusted, yet after reading Reddit, it made me less disgusted. What do you mean? Was Reddit that disgusting? I'm confused. Was Reddit that horrendous? Was Reddit like that genuinely bad that it made you feel less disgusted? Oh yeah, I should post on Twitter that I'm streaming. Hmm. 3 weeks straight of the same description. Oh, on the episode again? Oh, they did it again on the episode? I feel like people are gonna laugh at my fucking description, but also heartwarming. Oh wow, I got a fuckload of followers. What happened here? I feel like every time a chapter pops off, I just get followers. You know what is surprising though about the latest chapter? It didn't trend. That shit felt like it was prime for trending. Like in the worst ways possible, you know? Like I thought more anime weebs would be like making a big deal out of this. I thought more of them would be upset. But you know what I've been seeing in my feed? You know what I've been seeing in my feed? Baki. I've been seeing a whole lot of Baki. So I think Tekken's influence has been pretty monumental. There was also a new Baki chapter from what I understand. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean it's kind of nice seeing Baki there instead of oh, where this thing sucks again. Although I did get a lot of people. So it's like not trending, but it's like it's a big talking point in the anime community. Absolutely, I have been getting people like responding and trying to talk and shit. Oh, better get away from there. New Baki anime release. Yeah. So okay, what's up with you, Eddie man? What about yesterday's chapter? Yesterday's chapter made you feel disgusted, yet after reading Reddit, it made you feel less. It made you less disgusted in the chapter or in general. In the chapter or in general. Uh. Yeah. So yeah. The Crunchyroll still has the same description on the episodes in the chapter. I mean, yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a disgusting chapter. Like, I hate it. I kind of hate the chapter. Like, I'm being dead straight with you guys. I kind of hate the chapter, and that's what makes it good. Okay? Like, I fucking hate the chapter. Straight up. I'm not fucking kidding with you. I hate the chapter. That's what makes it good. That's literally what makes the chapter good. I like literally wrote a sentence about this like today when I was like trying to think about it. I'm one of the few that likes the chapter. No. Me hating the chapter is a compliment. No. Me hating the chapter is a compliment. It's like saying I love it, but I love it because I hate it. Does that make sense? I love it because I hate it. I don't like it. I love it. I think it's an incredible chapter. Okay? I think you're kind of misunderstanding my point. Me hating it is a good thing. I hate it affectionately. I hate it affectionately. Okay? No. Me hating it is a good thing. Not oh, it fucking sucks. Right? Right? That's literally what I mean. It's like I'm talking to my wife. No, that like in this particular case, us hating the chapter is the purpose of the chapter. I don't think this is a chapter that was meant to be liked. I'm serious. I don't think you're supposed to like this chapter. Like yeah, if you're horny, you might like it. It absolutely leverages your horniness 100%, but it feels manipulative. This chapter is really, really manipulative, like intentionally so. It gives you all the horny shit that you've been getting with Ruka for a hot minute now. You know, it gives you all the horny shit that it's been giving us with Ruka for a hot minute now, and it makes us feel gross in it. Right, so a lot of the previous chapters with Ruka, I feel like a lot of them have been like this chapter does not function without the chapters with Ruka. The Ruka things needed to happen. They needed to look eroticized. They needed to look horny. It needed to be very like fucking hentai or dojins or whatever we want to call them. It needed to look like pornography. And then this chapter takes all that and just like triples down on it. It's like, okay, here, I'm gonna draw the thing. Like, I'm just gonna straight up draw porn. Right? Like everybody out on Twitter's telling Reiji, hey dude, you should just draw hentai. You should just oil up the girls and draw hentai. So Reiji's just like, okay, bet. But here's the caveat, you're gonna fucking hate it. That's pretty much the chapter. He takes this thing of horniness, just completely commits to it. Completely commits to the horniness. It's straight up just pornography. And what does he do? He makes you feel terrible about it in the end. He's like, okay, is it still fun now? Are you still having fun now? Is this still fun? Right? That's pretty much what that is, right? Are you still having fun now? It reminds, oh my god, it's like that scene with Mark when he's killing fucking Conquest. Are you still having fun? Is this still fun to you? I'm having the time of my life. Okay, but no, it's like 218 on steroids. No, it's literally the inverse of 218. This chapter is like the opposite of 218. Anyways, so here I'm gonna just read the sentence for it, and then we're gonna watch the episode. So I pretty much said, I hate this chapter. It uses you. It hurts you. It treats you like crap and makes you watch disgusting things. And that is what makes it incredible. 426 is a chapter about hurting yourself as you were hurt. And thus do we as readers experience it too. And the plot experience it too, and in turn, the plot reacts to that hurt. The very hurt that Kazuya inflicts on himself is reflected outwards in Ruka meeting up with Umi, and how that is naturally going to impact the rest of the plot. This acts as an inverse of chapter 218, where in chapter 218, Kazuya is reacting to the external world, and that influences his internal world. This is the complete opposite of that. I think this week's chapter impacted me pretty negatively due to my own personal struggles. Right? I kind of started talking about my friend. It basically like it made me feel like really depressed because of like the whole things that happened with my friend. So like there's a negative aspect that I think I needed to both embrace and disassociate from, that it's not about that, and that's fine. But anyways, let's get into the episode. Oh, the new Steins Gate reboot is released. It came out? Is it like a visual novel? Huh. Wait, where's the audio? Huh. That's weird. Huh. I can hear myself talking. That's obnoxious. Oh. How about now? Can I still hear myself? No. Okay. Turn this off. Oh my god, now it's even worse. What the hell? Okay. Now I can't hear the episode. Shut the hell up. Can you stop talking now? Why? Okay, how about now? Okay, this is obnoxious. I can like hear myself and I can't seem to mute myself. You can't hear me. You can't hear me. Of course you can't hear me. It's obnoxious. What the fuck? Mic 2 mute? Would this do the trick? Why? This is annoying, actually. How about now? No, it's not you guys. It's not you guys. I can hear myself in my ears as I'm talking. It should be silent. I should not hear myself. So when I talk, I hear the anime and I hear myself. I'm trying to silence myself so I don't need to hear myself constantly while I'm trying to watch the anime. Would this do the trick? Of course not. Okay. About this. Does this do the trick? No. Wait a second. What if? Oh. Headset. Can I... How do I sound? Can you hear me? How do I sound? Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear myself anymore, which is good. But my voice still seems to be in the desktop audio. I can see it there. Okay, so my voice is still in the desktop audio. I can see it there, but now I don't hear myself. If I do this, would that get rid of it? No, it's still there. That's irritating as hell. How do I get rid of my voice? LED bullshit. Go away. Mic 2 headset. Whatever. This is fine for now. I'm just gonna listen to the anime. Okay. I can hear the anime at least. But now I can hear myself too. What the fuck? Okay. 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 So I hear things from you. Okay, if I do this, will this shut me up? Oh my god, it did. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Am I hearable? Okay, I'm hearable. How does the anime sound? Okay, can still hear yourself. Oh my god, this is irritating. How can I shut myself? No. I don't. I can't focus like this. I can't focus like this. Can I still hear myself? Can I still hear myself? Yes, I can. This is fun. Are you guys having fun? Whatever. Let's just watch the episode. I'll have to put up my own stupid voice. I'll have to put up with my own stupid voice. Lewd stuff. Lewd stuff. Hopes, dreams. How fitting. Right? I think this is oddly fitting. Does this quiet me down? Am I quiet? No, that's not quieting me down. Well, this is what it is, huh? Just gotta put up with this. So distracting. There's gotta be a solution to this. How did I fix it before? What did I do before? Mic monitor. Okay. When I press this, I can still hear myself. But it's delayed. Wait a darn second. Is it? Wait. Is it from options? Wait. It might. It might. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's not. Okay. Settings. Audio. How do I Crunchyroll? Okay, not. How to remove mic from global on OBS? So stupid. Why is this even a thing? Global audio devices. Oh my god, seriously? Okay. Locate the mic auxiliary audio drop down. Change the settings from the current microphone device to disabled. Then where do you want me to set it? Okay. That's all. Fuck this. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. You guys can hear me. I can hear myself. It doesn't matter. Okay. Let's just watch the episode. Screw it. He said repito in English. Repito. Mizuhara's smile is etched into my brain. Koi kokoro. What a weird pacing choice. No, straight up, what a weird pacing choice. You're gonna play the entire scene again. Like, seriously, you're gonna play the whole scene again. That was a good 30 seconds. Why would they play that whole scene again? I get it's a recap, but I was ready for the worst when she said I might be in love with Chizuru Mizuhara. But she said she was going to look into it. Dude, look at this moon. Look at this moon. Look at this moon. The moon's volume? No, how she felt about me. Mm. Huh. The censorship. Okay, so I can already tell they're gonna show boobies and ass. When come on, there's clear censorship right here. They're gonna show they're gonna show this shit on the Blu-ray. Of course they are. How'd it go? I need the goss. Give me. It's funny, but it's not as good as the manga. They made him look like an asshole. It was kind of funnier in the manga. He was funnier in the manga. I don't know. I like the manga a little more. Doesn't he look like a total scumbag here? Whereas in the manga, he kind of just looks like an asshole, like a funny asshole. Where is it? So this is the manga version. Doesn't it look like less scummy? Doesn't it look less scummy? It looks less scummy, right? He looks like, I think it's this curve. It's how they did this curve. They made him, he looks cuter and stupider here. Here, he just kind of looks like a creepo. It's the eyes too. It's the eyes too. It's how they did the eyes. The laugh is perfect though. The laugh is perfect though. And you just left it there. Boobies Mini. I'm in love with Chizuru Ichinose. Oh, she says Tamashi. Tamashi is like true or soul. So Minnie was like saying, I'm in love with Chizuru Ichinose, who you are on the inside. But like I've said before, this argument falls apart very quickly because Chizuru literally told him, I didn't show you my full self. How do you know you'll love Chizuru Ichinose? See what I mean? So Minnie's argument actually falls apart very quickly. Why are you dressed as a nurse? You two might never get anywhere in the end. I like that. I like how they did the voice acting like old people. Something like that. It's like fucking Mr. Crab ass voice. the the line delivery from Minnie's actually stupendous. What the fuck? Oh, isn't it interesting that Minnie reads Chizuru in this reaction? She reads Chizuru in this reaction as old fashioned, right? This is weird. I thought she could have figured that out while dating him too, right? Why is Chizuru not dating him? Right? You think Chizuru's just avoiding the problem. A lot of people are just like really sure Chizuru's just avoiding the problem. No, there's an issue here. Something you're not seeing here. And I've already described it a million times for people who've been watching my past streams. All right. We've talked about this. No, there's a problem here, right? Why did Chizuru go this direction? Why did Chizuru just not agree to just date him? Isn't that a little strange? There's a reason it's a little strange because there's this mystery Minnie doesn't know about, right? Also, another thing, I think Minnie is I think the reason a lot of this went in this direction and what Minnie said is true in that, oh, this might just drag on forever. Specifically because Minnie is the one who went and talked to Chizuru, not Kazuya, right? Other people are living Kazuya's life for him, right? He is pretending to not have this power that he has. And I think what we're building to, where we are in the manga, I think what we're building to is the cost of Kazuya pretending not to have this to have power over his life is going to be too much. You know what? Ooh. I've been talking about Final Fantasy a lot lately. I'm gonna talk about one that I think a lot of people have been kind of divisive about. Final Fantasy 16. Clive's moment of revelation where he accepts the truth. In that moment, for much of the story, he is chasing this demon who is the thing that ruined his life. For much of the story, he's been chasing this demon. I'm trying not to spoil it too hard. He's been chasing this demon that he believes has ruined his life. And what does he find in the end? That very demon is himself. I think that is a perfect encapsulation of Kazuya's character. He is essentially what he's not. That's what he's doing. He is essentially Clive in a lot of ways, right? He's hunting down this demon. He's trying to be the hero. He's trying to protect Chizuru. He tries to care for her and support her, but he pretends to not have this power. And when you pretend you don't have power, you can't really protect anything. I think that's kind of Kazuya's issue. Let's see. Write some stuff. Yeah, basically, Kazuya essentially has to stop lying to himself because that lie is just going to cost too much. And that's kind of where we are. Let me turn on the lights. Okay. Well, bees. Okay, so something I found a little strange here about this particular shot that everybody's probably horny as fuck over. I don't like that they made Chizuru smiling here. I could have sworn in the original she wasn't smiling. Called it. Called it. She's not smiling. I just found it a little strange. Oh, look at how happy and wonderful I am. Chizuru just kind of doing her stretches. She's not particularly happy or sad. She's just doing her stretches. I don't I prefer the slight indifference. There's a characterization there. Seems like it's not a big deal. It is. And you're gonna see why in just a second. Wait, I just realized. Wait, let's let it play out. Let your worries float away into the sky. Interesting. So okay, what did I notice here really quick? So in the previous episode, we were talking about how Chizuru is showing Kazuya her bad side, right? We were talking about that last time. Chizuru is showing her bad side to Kazuya, and it comes off as very like harsh, like really fucking harsh. And then you see here Chizuru, right? So you see Chizuru here, and she literally says, I think I was acting too cool." And this reflects two problems. One, we thought Chizuru was kind of being a dick. We thought Chizuru was kind of being a dick. No, she was trying too hard to be a dick. She isn't actually. This scene alone proves it. This scene alone proves it. You know why? She's not actually a jerk. She was just trying really hard to prove she's a jerk. And now as she sits down and reflects on it, she's just like, damn it, I think I fucked up. Right? That's literally what she's saying. I think I fucked up. This is where part 2 comes in, right? So this proves one thing to you as readers, unintentionally, right? Not like very directly, loudly, very like subtly. There we go. It's a very subtle way of like telling the reader something. In particular, it's showing how Chizuru isn't actually a jerk. She's not a jerk. She's just trying really hard to prove she is, because she's been so conditioned she's a bad person. So in many ways, her attitude in the date reflects that, and her attitude after the date reflects how she wants to change that. Right. So she a lot of what she does after. Notice how she talks in private to Kazuya. Like when we get to that, notice how she talks in private with Kazuya, and how different it is from when she talks to him during the date. During the date, she's literally putting on a mask. When she's acting like a jerk, when she's doing a lot of this stuff, she's literally putting on a mask. It's a rental date. She's telling him, I want to be honest with you, as she's literally putting on a mask in the very end of the date. She's literally forced to wear a mask the entire date. She doesn't want to. That's where the misunderstanding occurs. Now, this brings me to 2. What is the second thing, right? So we've established the first thing is that Chizuru was essentially acting, and in many ways she was kind of lying to herself. She's trying really hard to prove she's a bad person. She says here, maybe I shouldn't have tried acting so cool. What happened here? This introduces the second issue. She doesn't realize what she just did. She's blind to herself, right? She does not realize what she just did. She's literally blind to herself. So she doesn't realize how she might have actually hurt Kazuya a lot more than she could have known, because she's literally blind to herself. So she doesn't know what she did. I don't like that in the anime she's not reflected in shadow. They're really good about that stuff in like certain scenes, like in the previous episode. They're really good about that stuff in certain times. This is one of those scenes where I think they kind of fail. They don't show Chizuru in shadow. When you first see Chizuru in this scene, you see her in light. Right? She's literally purely in light. Then when you cut here, completely in shadow with a white background. This visual right here is how we've been seeing Kazuya in the manga up until this point. Or sorry, in the manga at this point. This is how Kazuya looks. This is much of how we see Kazuya now. In contrast, Chizuru seems in sync with her shadows. There's a difference now in the manga. So this is Kazuya now in the manga, in contrast to Chizuru, who is in complete shadows. This brings me to the third thing that I saw. This is not about this particular scene. This is about the current narrative, right? This shot, and I can't believe I didn't notice it. This shot, if it'll load, for the love of God, thank you very much, is incredibly similar to this shot. In fact, you'll notice, just like this scene, she's wearing a black bra. Maybe I shouldn't have tried acting so cool. I'm sorry for being excited. Again, the lines sync up with each other. We've had this a few times now, where the lines sync up with each other. This is oddly coincidental. This is oddly coincidental, right? And what's interesting about this line, too, right? There's another interesting thing about this line, too. Another chapter that I'm pretty sure is in this episode is chapter 243. What happens in chapter 243? Chapter 243, Chizuru flicks herself for being too excited. It's almost like the episode that we're watching informs a lot of what's happening in chapter 425. It also parallels Kazuya in the current narrative and how he's literally has these impulses that he can't control when he's around Chizuru or when he feels certain things. Chizuru here has literally impulses that come out and they're very reactive to Kazuya. She's like, maybe I was acting too cool. Maybe I was trying to be too fucking cool. I wasn't that cool. It's that moment where you say something or you do something, and then you look back at yourself and you're like, man, God, I'm so fucking stupid. That's pretty much what she's doing here. She's like, man, I'm so fucking stupid. That's pretty much what she's doing here. In that same way, Chizuru in the current narrative is literally like, I'm so dumb for being like this. There's a direct parallel between these two, and both of them inform her desire for him, right? She's trying to look a certain way for him, not realizing how the way she looks for him is actually impacting their relationship. That in many ways, because she presented herself in that particular way here, she actually hurt the relationship. So this scene literally tells you she was acting. And that makes me really curious. I want to know what the Japanese is like. So I'm gonna ask Crumpy. What Chizuru in particular says in the Japanese in this scene. $240. What does the Japanese mainly? Okay. She also seems to say a particular Japanese phrase here. I'll ask about that later. What? The moon. Seeing the moon. Wait, what was just said there? What did Mr. Fish just say? Let your worries scatter into the sky. But your moon is in the sky. Let your worries scatter into the sky, but the moon is in the sky, and the moon reflects your love. He who rules over his serotonin rules over his life. What the fuck? I keep getting videos about how important sexual compatibility is. Social media must die. So relevant. I wonder what her exes are like. I envy them so damn much. That's so funny. He doesn't know. He's just assuming. When you focus too much on on past relationships and you have no control over them, it can control you. This works. Domo. Kita! Kita! Wait, does he say the same exact thing? It's almost like, oh my god. Holy. Okay, you know what I just noticed? She says the same exact thing when she meets him in the date, and he says the same exact thing in his head. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play it for you guys. Okay, let's listen to it together. This is literally my reading of this situation. This scene where Kazuya and Chizuru meet up again. This scene where Kazuya and Chizuru meet up again here. This is the proper meetup. The first meetup was them acting. It's not the true meetup. The first meetup, when they meet in the earlier chapters in the rental date, the final rental date, that stuff is not real. This is the real meetup. This is the real meetup. This is them rewriting that event because they did it wrong. They did everything incorrectly. This is them doing it correctly. This is them realizing they fucked up in that outing. Chizuru realizes she fucked up in that outing and she fixes it. This is her trying to fix it here. This is her trying to be really honest and straight and showing her vulnerable side that she showed to Minnie. The way she acts here is the way she should have acted from the start, right? They realize they made a mistake. However, that mistake is going to cost them. The rental date they chose to do, both her and him, is going to cost them, right? So even though they tried to fix it here, that rental date will stick. That mistake they made in the rental date will stick as a parallel to how the 3 months are going to stick. It is going to haunt them. It is not going to go away. It's this thing that's going to be in the back of your mind constantly. It's not going to go away. This is what Chizuru should have done. This is how Chizuru should have approached him, right? This is what Chizuru should have did. She should have just came up and approached him. And I think that was always the point. This whole scene, this is what should have happened. This scene right here is what should have happened. This is what Chizuru should have done. This is what Chizuru should have done. Chizuru is the one who should have gone and knocked at his door. And I think it's thematically fitting that she literally rings his doorbell. The thing he was waiting for this entire time, she finally did here, right? This is what she should have done when she talked to Minnie, right? Chizuru right here is doing what she should have done in the 3 months, right? Chizuru here is doing what she should have done in the 3 months. And this is what she should have did after she talked to Minnie. However, there's a reason that did not happen. There's a reason that rental date exists. There's a reason the 3 months happened. Those things cannot be erased, right? This is what should have happened. This is the natural course of events. But there's a reason these natural course of events did not happen. And we're ignoring that. And that reason is something I've talked about before. Now, what am I talking about here? So first, let's listen to this audio. 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 Why did it do that? Okay. I don't know why it did. I don't know what the fuck's happening with my computer. What did you notice here? They said exactly verbatim the same exact words. This is not how they should have met. This is not how they were supposed to meet. This was them practicing for meeting up the way they did in this episode. In the episode that we're currently watching, this is them practicing to meet up that way. Chef's kiss. How did I not fucking notice that? Chef's kiss. How did I not fucking notice that? Is it because awkward tension? No. There is an intentional parallel between these two scenes. This is rental. What is this? This is rental. They are practicing to meet up like they did before because they don't think they can, not realizing why they couldn't meet up. Right? This is not the real thing. The other one is. Everything that happens in chapter 240 and 241 and 242 is how things should have played out. Right? And they were literally just practicing for that. But this rental date that they did here has consequences. The investigation should not exist. Why? Yes. It was never supposed to. But that's the thing. Chizuru made the mistake in creating. Okay, so Chizuru made the mistake in creating the investigation. Okay, right, and it's one of those things where you need to learn from your mistakes, right? You need to make the mistake in order to realize it was a mistake. However, this begs a very, very, very important question. Kazuya, if Kazuya had acted and like taken full charge of the situation before the 3 months ever happened, a sort of Steins Gate, if you will, could he not have just averted not only the 3 months, but the investigation? The investigation would not have existed if he saw what the real source was. Why does the investigation need to exist at all? Right? Now think about that. Think about that. You're probably like, oh, it's just Chizuru avoiding her feelings, right? It's just Chizuru avoiding her feelings, right? That's probably your reasoning, right? It's just Chizuru avoiding her feelings. The investigation doesn't need to fucking exist. You're right in that the investigation does not need to exist. You're wrong as to why it doesn't need to exist. It's because she was emotionally manipulated and used and basically conditioned that she's not in love. That what she feels is just desire, that she's just using him, that he's just a client. Where did those words come from? That's right, mommy. People act like all mommy and Ruka did was put pressure on Chizuru. They didn't just put pressure on Chizuru, they emotionally abused her. They fucking hurt her. She's a fucking victim. She's abused. That's why she's doing this investigation. She's been conditioned. She's not in love. You think the sole reason, not you, just people in general think the sole reason is that Chizuru is just avoiding her feelings, right? Chizuru is just avoiding her feelings. In part, that's not necessarily untrue, right? In part, that's not necessarily untrue. Chizuru has avoided her feelings for a decent portion of the time. That's kind of how she knows how to do things. You know, that's basically how she's learned to deal with a lot of things, whether it be through rental, whether it be how she's dealt with a lot of pain. However, Chizuru is also willing to confront things. We've seen that a lot too. In fact, even in Hawaiians, she tried to confront a lot of stuff. Why was she avoiding certain things? She didn't want to hurt people, right? In Hawaiians in particular, she didn't want to hurt people. And she was afraid of getting hurt herself. Okay. Now, what's happening, Chizuru is actively going out of her way to confront the issue, but what's happening, Chizuru is confronting the symptoms, not the problem. That's kind of the issue. Chizuru is confronting the symptoms, not the problem. She doesn't realize this, and Kazuya doesn't want to realize this. Kazuya doesn't want to know. He's okay living a lie. And that lie is mommy and Ruka. He's okay pretending they're not there. That it's just Chizuru. That's the lie he's living. And that lie is going to have a cost. In fact, we have been incurring this cost the whole time, right? We have been incurring this cost this entire time. Okay, it's been building up. Reiji has been cooking for like a few years now, okay? He's been cooking this cost for a few fucking years now. And now there's going to be a payoff for that cost soon. That payoff being the introduction of Umi's character. And whatever the heck Umi's going to do in this situation, you know? Umi up until this point was pretty passive. I think Umi is going to unintentionally do something negative. Intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know. I do think there is a bit of an obsession on Umi's part that he can't seem to let go of Chizuru. And the question is why? But what makes this scene with Ruka pretty interesting is that he goes specifically to meet Ruka, and not Kazuya, right? He doesn't talk to Kazuya. He doesn't talk to Chizuru. He talks to Ruka. Why? Because he saw that one thing of Ruka holding Kazuya's arm, right? And I think what's going to be interesting about that is maybe he's curious, right? Because Kazuya is holding Ruka's arm, but Chizuru kissed him. How does he feel about that, right? There's this element of physical intimacy that's really interesting, right? If Ruka, for example, kissed Kazuya, and Chizuru kissed Kazuya, and Kazuya doesn't seem to be inherently, like, impacted by all of the kissing, maybe it's not a big deal to him. See what I mean? So maybe the kiss isn't that big a deal to Kazuya. The element of physical intimacy and the kiss blend well with the meetup with Ruka. Ruka specifically holding Kazuya's arm. Maybe the kiss doesn't mean all that much to Kazuya. How would Chizuru feel about that? I think that would be a really interesting direction. You know, I think that would be that could be physical intimacy seems to be the reason Umi even reached out to Ruka in the first place. That she had. Is Umi going to accuse Kazuya for being a cheater? No, that's not really it. Because they're not dating. So how can he really be a cheater? Right? Or maybe he's cheating on Ruka. Right? Maybe that's it. Maybe he's going to tell Ruka, oh, well, he's into someone else, right? He has a relationship with someone else. So he's going to try to tell that to Ruka, and maybe Ruka would just be like, I already knew that. And then Umi's going to be like, well, did you know they lived together? Did you know they had did you know that they kissed again? Did you know that they had all this going on? And I think that would be an interesting direction, right? So Kazuya would be a cheater to Ruka, right? Kazuya would be a cheater to Ruka. So that could be what this is at play at, right? That could be what that is. Chizuru also didn't make it clear to Kazuya she's investigating her feelings. No, she did. She said she's investigating her feelings, but Kazuya is part of that investigation, whether she intended it or not. That's the reality. It's like, I defended that too. I defended it that way too, that what Chizuru is investigating is her feelings and not Kazuya. But Kazuya is ultimately part of that investigation, and I think Chizuru's mistake is that no matter how much she tells him she's not investigating him, she is. Whether she realizes that or not, the sheer existence of the investigation is the mistake. And that's something I think people have said before, and I've kind of fought against, but I'm kind of starting to see that for what it really is. You know, that you know, there's a truth to that. A part of it is that Chizuru wasn't investigating Kazuya, absolutely not. However, the investigation is her feelings for him. How can you remove Kazuya from the investigation if you're investigating your feelings for him? So the natural conclusion is you're investigating Kazuya. Do you see how the argument that she's not investigating him falls apart, even though that wasn't her intention? The very way Chizuru is investigating her feelings for Kazuya literally doesn't work, because she's literally removing him from the equation while exploring her feelings for him, as a parallel to how she's trying to remove her desires for him from her love for him. That doesn't fucking work. That doesn't work. That parallels Kazuya's mistake, that he's actively, throughout the time that he's living with her, trying to remove his desires for her, and rather purely judge his love for her from the selfless form, right? He's actively going to hide his feelings. He's actively going to the DVD store and hiding his feelings until they reach such a bad fucking point that he is literally physically abused by Ruka, and now literally emotionally betrays himself, right? He physically betrayed himself, if you will. Right? So now that in trying so hard to remove your desires from your love, you ultimately destroy it. Ruka is the opposite. When you let your desires control you so drastically, you end up destroying your love. I just realized this thing is not plugged in. I gotta make sure my phone is getting charged. Thank God I plugged that in. Okay. So the use of the word investigation is the mistake. The very nature of the investigation. No, it's not the word. The very fact that she was investigating at all is the mistake. The very fact that she started the investigation at all was the mistake. She didn't. Minnie is correct, basically, in a sense. Minnie is correct. They could have just dated. What she's wrong about is, why didn't they date? Right. The question becomes, why aren't you just dating? Right. There's a reason. And neither character fully knows that reason. But Reiji is like, I'm going to let it play out. And basically, he shows them literally have a relationship. Right. Even though they're not dating, they literally have a relationship. Which literally shows, okay, you're both technically not doing it for yourselves. You're doing it for the other person. But you did it. You can have a relationship. You show that in the cohab. That's the beauty of the cohabitation arc. It's a lie. The whole thing is a lie. But it also shows they could do it if they wanted to. It's the same with the movie arc. The movie arc is Kazuya not doing it for himself. He's doing it for Chizuru. The entire fuel of the movie arc is that he's doing it for Chizuru. But what does it show? He can do it. Like, yeah, he's not doing it for himself, but he can do it. It's that duality of Rent-A-Girlfriend is its core, right? The investigation is both a good thing and a bad thing. The cohabitation is both a good thing and a bad thing. The movie arc is both a good thing and a bad thing. Everything in the story is like that. Next thing, Umi's actually tells Ruka to buzz off and leave Kazuya alone. Doubt it. Doubt it. I think Umi is gonna. I think what's gonna happen is Umi's gonna spill the beans that they were living together, and that they kissed. And you know why I think that is. You want to know why I think that is? There are two particular things. I'm gonna show you them really quick. There's two particular things. This is the Chekhov's gun. This is the thing that's gonna like fucking tell you everything. The moment you see this, you're gonna be like, oh, that's why that was there. I'm so fucking stupid. That's why that was there. Okay. There's a few instances of this. Oh my god, there's there's a second one. Umi's gonna wreck Kazuya here. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my god. Next chapter's gonna be bad. Next chapter's gonna be bad. Oh, okay. So first off, the first one. Not this. Whoops, wrong one. 409. Umi asks Kazuya, "Did you kiss her?" Kazuya, right, says, "I guess." Umi gets excited. Now pay very close attention to Kazuya's words. These are the classic, oh, this is going to come back to bite you in the ass. I hope she doesn't get mad at me for this. It's true after all. He's like, I hope Chizuru doesn't get upset at me for telling Umi about this. Not realizing Umi may very well tell Ruka, hey, so they kissed. Now, what is the other thing that made me react like a madman 2 seconds ago? This one is a callback and a fucking half. Hey, so, remember when Umi took a picture with Kazuya at that party? And what does Kazuya say as he's walking? He sees that image. Wow, geez, it's getting so many retweets. Well, even if somebody sees this, I can just make up some excuse. You can barely make me out anyway. Hey, so not only did he kiss you, not only did he kiss Chizuru, he lived with her, and he's been hanging out with her for a very long time. In fact, he went to a party with her. See? Here's a picture of him at my party where I invited Chizuru and I told her to bring him along. He's been into that girl for a while, dude. Right? They've been dating for a while. Or at the very least, he's been interested in her for a while. Like, shit, they're not dating, but they've been into each other for a while. That's how this picture is gonna fucking come back. That's how this picture is gonna fucking come back. Umi's gonna show Ruka that picture. And you want to know why? I think Umi's gonna show Ruka that picture. Mommy takes a really similar picture to this in the background. And she shows that picture to Nagomi. And that picture turns out to be nothing. Watch this picture turn out to be something massive. Right? This picture that Kazuya is like, oh, it's not a big deal. I can just make up some excuse. So about that. Right? Chizuru sees mommy with Ruka. Sees mommy with Grandma Nagomi. And look, what is mommy doing? She's posing very similarly to Umi and also winking. Hey, look, here's Umi taking a picture with Kazuya and winking. Kazuya is in shadows here. He's like, you can barely make me out, but Ruka could see that anywhere. Right? Ruka's been dating him a while. She could see that anywhere. Our mistake was thinking that Kazuya was cheating on Chizuru. Who is Kazuya's girlfriend? Who is Kazuya's girlfriend? Kazuya's girlfriend is Ruka. Does Ruka even know that Umi's associated with Chizuru? Yes, Kazuya told her that very specifically. That chapter where Ruka sees Umi, Kazuya tells her very specifically how he met Umi and how he was the person that Chizuru was retweeting. Right? So he was the person who was going to retweet them in the play. Or not the play, the movie. It's right here, chapter 408. Where is it? We met through Mizuhara. I see. Interesting. From the crowdfunding. That takes me back. Oh, the retweet. We think, our interpretation is that Umi is going to partner up with Ruka to do something. He's just going to be like, "Ayo, so yeah, he's been like with that girl this whole time. This guy that you're like super into, he's been with this girl the whole time." And what did we say was the issue when Ruka first went to Kazuya's new apartment? What did we say was the issue when Ruka first went to Kazuya's new apartment? Kazuya's actively hiding, right? How deeply he's connected to Chizuru, right? He has his little goal list. He has the fact that he lived with her, the fact that he's staying with her, like she kissed him, all that stuff, right? And Ruka doesn't know any of that. Why is she into this dude? Why is she into this dude who's with some other girl? And I think he's telling her, specifically, ironically, because he does that. Right? He ironically does that specifically because he does that. Right? It's very ironic of Umi to go tell a girl that he's with another, that the guy she's into is with another girl, considering we see him do that. It's an interesting form of hypocrisy for Umi's character. Now, why is that interesting? Right? Why is that interesting? Well, Ruka literally says in chapter 407, right? She's literally interested about that. Right? As she's walking home, she's thinking about it. And she's like, he didn't deny anything about his relationship with Chizuru-san. They must still be involved with each other. But if they ever get together for real, then I don't think she would be willing to ignore me. So are they not a couple yet? Right? Ruka's asking these questions. So they're not a couple yet. But they kissed and they lived together. That's more than Ruka ever got to do. Ruka literally wants to be with Kazuya. Ruka wants her own apartment. Ruka's actively wanting to go to Kazuya's house and stay with him. Right? She's like, I want my first time with you. He slept in the same house as the girl he liked for a whole month. Right? Umi's gonna use that too. Umi is setting off a fucking bomb, dude. He's setting off a bomb and he doesn't realize how big this bomb is and he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think Umi realizes what he's about to fucking do. And it's he probably just thinks, "Oh, I'm just sparing this girl." Right? Or maybe he thinks, "Oh, well, you know, it's not a big fucking deal." Right? Oh, he's just a cheating womanizer or something, you know. Plot twist. You just set off Kazuya's abuser and Chizuru's abuser on a warpath. And I doubt he knows he did that. I doubt he knows he's going to do that. Right? He probably, Umi probably does not know what he's about to fucking do. If I told her about it, I wonder what would happen. I bet she would be shocked. Would I have a chance then? I wasn't lying about how I felt. No matter how their relationship progresses, I don't ever want to leave Kazu-kun. But if I'm lucky, right, she doesn't realize that she got completely tossed to the wayside, that she didn't mean anything to him. Umi is going to, like, wreck Ruka emotionally. He's going to destroy her. Hey, so everything you experience with this dude is a lie. Everything you've been through with this guy was a lie. He didn't care about you. You meant nothing to him. That's pretty much what Umi's gonna do here. Hey, so this guy you like so much, you meant nothing to him. And what I'm worried about is he gonna use that? Right? I hope he doesn't, like, use Ruka when she's really vulnerable. Which would be twisted, kind of scary. Kind of concerning. You know? Kind of concerning. Oh, is Umi just gonna go straight up evil route? Is Umi just straight up evil? Right? No clue. No clue. Reiji has never been the kind of person who just depicts characters as straight up evil, but it's not out of the ballpark. It's not out of the ballpark. Maybe Umi wasn't evil at the start. He could very well become evil, you know? But it's hard to know. And I think that's going to be the cost of Kazuya's lies. The cost of Kazuya's lies is going to be that Ruka gets hurt really badly. And things are going to, like, spiral insanely out of control. And Ruka getting hurt is going to impact Chizuru, because now Chizuru is going to feel responsible for not addressing Ruka sooner. She's going to feel responsible for Kazuya getting assaulted by Ruka, as well as Ruka possibly getting hurt, because she didn't fucking address her. Ruka desperately wishes to be addressed, right? I think what Umi's going to do is going to end up in Ruka getting really, really hurt. And the thing is like, okay, you guys were so busy trying to, address Ruka properly that you ultimately led to Ruka not being addressed. She does something horrible. She hurts herself, and now she's going to get hurt too, right? So just as Kazuya demeans and hurts himself in chapter 426, Ruka's also about to get hurt as a byproduct of not only her actions, but Kazuya's actions. And it's basically how children get caught up in the disgusting adult world. I think that's what Reiji's building up to. This is how children get caught up in the disgusting adult world. How children are demeaned and turned into and are abused in this horrible adult world. I think Umi is literally bringing that adult world to Ruka. I think that's what's happening here. Umi is bringing that horrifying, disgusting adult world to Ruka. This character who thinks she can become an adult by having sex, right? He's going to show her how horrifying that is, how terribly she misunderstood this. And I think that is going to be the idea that might be explored with Umi's character here. The horrific ramifications of the adult world and how it destroys children, how it destroys the innocence and the beauty of children. But also at the same time, how when we don't monitor and care for our children properly, when we don't guide them properly, whether it be Kazuya, Chizuru, or even Ruka's own parents, or even Nagomi, if you will, this stuff can happen, you know? And it's basically about how adults are failing children. You know, Chizuru in many ways is failing Kazuya's inner child. Kazuya in many ways is failing Chizuru's inner child. Now the story will end. Oh no, I'm not saying this is going to end badly. You're misunderstanding my point. This is not going to end badly. This story is still going to end well. No. But Reiji is going to drag us through the fucking abyss. Okay, and the live action showed me he's not afraid to do that. The fact that in the live action Chizuru was almost sexually assaulted shows me that Reiji is not afraid to like delve into that shit. Chizuru was almost raped in the live action. Like that almost happened. Like the dude got her into the hotel, he drugged her, and he got her into the hotel and everything. Like that shit is dark. That's really fucking dark. And I would not be surprised that Reiji depicts Ruka being Ruka sexually assaulting Kazuya, and then Kazuya emotionally betrays himself, and then now you have Ruka meeting up with Umi, Ruka who was earlier saying she doesn't care for idols or any of that stuff, And there is very much set up for Ruka to betray herself when everything she has understood about her relationship with Kazuya turns out to be nothing but a lie. Wait, there's a live action? Yes, there's a live action. And it's really good. The final episode, the final episode that they draw the final episode of the live action is an episode Reiji wanted to draw initially in the manga, but it would not have fit with the current narrative, right? Where the narrative is right now, it would not have fit. It adapts certain aspects, like Kazuya finds out about Mommy's backstory. Mommy's dad slaps her just like he does in Mommy's backstory. So these elements are like adapted in there. Now Reiji like takes these elements and he instead makes Mommy the abuser in Hawaiians rather than her dad. She becomes her dad essentially. And in contrast, he's flipping certain elements here where Kazuya is essentially being sexually assaulted by Ruka, but whereas Umi is possibly, bringing the disgusting adult world into this stuff. So this stuff has there. Why can't they continue the live action? The live action was always going to be like a one-off thing. It was always going to be just 12 episodes. And it was just always going to be just kind of that thing. A lot of the people they had in it, for example, Kazuya's actor in the live action was this dude from a band. And he's really attractive. Like, he's super fucking attractive. So these actors were probably all booked in some ways, but they took it really seriously. I would argue sometimes the live action is just superior to the anime. It's straight up. It just does things better than the anime. Just straight up. It's actually fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible. I would really recommend giving it a shot. They changed some things. They remove a lot of Kazuya's sexuality, probably because they don't want to associate that with they don't want to damage the image of the actor. So they remove a lot of the sexuality of Kazuya's character. But they keep it in there. It's not like it's gone, but they keep it in there. So I very much see Reiji recreating that in like an inverted kind of way, with Ruka. And ultimately it leads to Kazuya and Chizuru like properly reuniting and properly like rebuilding their relationship. Does that shit have a Blu-ray? Yes, it does. And I own it. Let me show you. Yes, it does. Okay, let me zoom in. What's interesting about this, that by the way, this is so goofy. Ruka's actress is so tall. She's huge. Girl is huge. She's massive, right? And then there's also like really weird people who are like, so okay, for example, like Sumi's actress right here. She's very curvy and very big. So she has big boobs and has big hips. So people are like, oh my god, she should have been Chizuru. Because Chizuru's actress is a little thinner and a little smaller. But oh my god, she's a perfect Chizuru. She is a perfect Chizuru. None of the I think she's the standout actress in this adaptation. Her and Mommy are probably the standout actresses in this adaptation. The Kazuya's actor is fantastic too, but like I mentioned, he's in a band. So no. Chizuru's actress is fucking incredible, straight up. Also, her thighs are gorgeous. I am a thigh man. Her thighs are gorgeous. No, Reiji actively draws Chizuru with thighs, like sexy ass thighs, and I'm like, oh, this girl got them thighs. There's that Chizuru. There's my objectifying ass. There's Chizuru. Yeah. So no. Mommy's actress is incredible too. Mommy's actress is also incredible. But yeah. Then they should adapt the whole manga with a live action rather than the anime. That's not happening. Live action is far more challenging, far more expensive. All of these actors have time and like they want to do their own things. That was just never really going to happen. But Reiji was incredibly grateful for the live action, and I think it ends at a perfect note. You know, it's kind of a cliffhangery note. Because of course it is, but it ends at a perfect note. it ends at a perfect note. Kazuya and Chizuru even hug. Right in the very end of it, Kazuya and Chizuru hug. Because Kazuya saves her from that dude, and then when the dude's like insulting her as he's being arrested, Kazuya like calls him out, and he's like, "Fuck you, dude! Like we're all trying to search for our happiness. Why the fuck do you get to judge people like that?" And pretty much, it's the most blatant. Dude, shut up and stop judging sex workers. It's the most blatant stop judging sex workers dialogue, right? It's literally Reiji just straight up talking through Kazuya's character and just literally saying like, "Ayo, you guys are fucking idiots. Everybody's trying to reach for their happiness. Even people like mommy are trying to reach for their happiness. And you're over here insulting them because something shitty happened in your life. What gives you the right to fucking judge people for trying to reach their happiness their own way? You know? Like, shut up. Shut up. Stop judging people for working jobs you don't appreciate or you don't agree with or whatever. Everybody's working for their own happiness. Stop being a fucking asshole." And like Kazuya defends mommy there, you know? He sees how shitty mommy's life is and he even defends her. So, yeah. Yeah. No. And then again, another thing, so back to Ruka, another thing that we see here. There's a dude who is about to hit on her. And Ruka says, "What am I supposed to do?" She's lost and she doesn't know what to do. And here comes Umi. As Ruka was saying earlier in another chapter, haven't I been a good girl? As she's addicted to Kazuya and she asks, haven't I been a good girl? And here comes Umi to this vulnerable girl who doesn't know what to do and is very alone and is even starting to get a little isolated from her parents. And she meets this attractive older man in a cafe in public. Huh. Honestly, Umi looks sus beyond fucking belief. And I think basically what happened here is because Kazuya never addressed Ruka, he brought Umi straight to her. And Reiji has gone out of his way to show that Umi is kind of a problem. So, yeah. It sounds like Umi may become a problem for Ruka. And he's going to hurt Ruka, which in turn is going to hurt Kazuya and Chizuru's relationship. I just realized we got to finish this episode. She tells him to close the door. Wait, please do the poppers. They did. She's going to expose her true self. Expose your true self. It's so funny. Kazuya's talking about Chizuru exposing her true self to him when Umi is about to expose the true Kazuya to Ruka. As Kazuya in this very chapter exposes himself, right? He literally exposes the worst aspects of his character, right? He literally loses himself. He destroys himself, right? Kazuya in this scene, when Chizuru starts looking around, and looking in his room, he's literally starts feeling like he's too exposed. She starts looking around. All of this takes place in 1.3 seconds. It's just like I edited it. It's just like I edited it. It's so funny. He's looking at. He's like, "Oh, Chizuru is going to expose herself to me," and then all of a sudden he starts feeling exposed. I think that's literally what happened with Ruka. Ruka's exposing herself to Kazuya when he's the one getting exposed. Right? She's literally like, he's vulnerable. Okay. Yeah, Chizuru sits in a corner. See, what's interesting about all of this, all the questions Kazuya asks in this scene are correct. He should just ask her. It's like, hey, why are you sitting all the way there? Is something wrong? Am I bothering you? Like, if he said all of that, she'd be like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. Like, right? She would understand what she's doing. A person doesn't know what they're doing if you don't point it out to them, you know? But Kazuya doesn't tell her anything. He doesn't ask any questions. He kind of just drifts off in his own head. And I think that's kind of the important part is like Kazuya doesn't really stand up for himself. So in this situation, he's so busy being investigated, he doesn't say anything. In many ways, because Chizuru creates the investigation, she very much like shackles Kazuya without realizing it, you know? But at the same time, Kazuya could have been against the investigation in the first place. Like a cat that doesn't belong here. She feels uncomfortable and awkward. He doesn't realize what that means. She literally doesn't feel like she belongs here. And he doesn't clock what that means. He doesn't understand what that means. She literally feels like she doesn't belong here. Right? The cat feels awkward. This isn't her home. She's never been here properly like this before. So it feels weird for her. It's literally it doesn't realize the importance of that. It's literally like when you bring a cat to a new home and it doesn't know what it's doing. So it looks around, it starts checking the place out, and then it finds a small corner to sit in. It's literally just like a cat. And just like a cat, you have to ease them and ease their comfort and make them feel comfortable. Otherwise, they don't know how to react. Personally, I feel like I'm doing Ruka-chan wrong. Not realizing in not talking to Ruka, you might have put her in incredible danger. Right? And the reality is this is going to become the truth here, right? Chizuru is doing Ruka wrong, and that's because going to become the truth here. But at the same time, Ruka knows this is the reality too. It's also really interesting. She says that right now, considering what Kazuya is doing in his head is kind of twisted in chapter 426. Considering her feelings, it wouldn't be good if she found out what was going on. And yet, in keeping it from Ruka, you have actually made it worse. And yet, in keeping it from Ruka, we have actually made this significantly worse. And we didn't realize. Yeah, Umi could be like, oh, how long have you known him? And then he'll be like, hey, so they've been a thing longer than you. Okay, so wait, what does he say? I can see why she'd want to know. She's the one who hooked us up. And look where that ended up. Her feelings for you must be the real deal. Oh, she's literally saying it right here. She ghosted me for months for Ruka-chan. But it wasn't just for Ruka, but it also was. Ruka's kind of like an excuse, but she isn't. And then this is going to be the important part here. Kazuya is going to feel like he doesn't matter in terms of his significance to Ruka. Ruka matters more than Kazuya, even in Chizuru's eyes. He's literally insignificant when it comes to Ruka. How thematically fitting then that in this chapter, he literally in 426, he literally demeans himself because of Ruka. And then his love for Chizuru literally ends up making him feel insignificant. Right? He literally makes himself insignificant in favor of Ruka. Right? And Ruka even does that to him. And that in turn escalates with the whole thing with Chizuru. Right? Where now even his feelings for Chizuru matter more than he does. The entire framing is literally about exploring why Kazuya is struggling so much in love, and it's because he treats himself like he doesn't matter. A lot of people treat him like he doesn't matter. Even the ghosting is framed as though he doesn't matter, and that's something that's always stuck with Kazuya, that he is insignificant, and that is the thing that has to change, you know. And that has to change. I think that change can start internally. I'll figure out a solution to this situation that we're in. Huh. Chizuru's gonna find the solution. But she can't. Kazuya can help her find the solution by taking autonomy over himself and in turn empower her. It's literally what I've been saying the whole time. He paves the path so she can walk it. The music choice is weird here. Music is weird here. WeTube? They're so cute. They're so adorable. And she's just not against it. This is actually really cute. Right? He just wants to hang out with her. She's like, okay, well, fine, whatever you want to do. That's so cute. Oh yeah, she's gonna sit next to him and he's gonna freak. Oh. Okay, are we back? It said I disconnected. Are we back? I love how, well, if we are back, I'm gonna just share this real quick. I love how people don't understand the context of why Kazi is freaking the fuck out. Dude, he loves this girl. He wants to have sexual intimacy with her, and she just sat right next to him. Holding it in is pretty fucking hard. Right? He's literally at his breaking point. He's just like, I don't hold it in. Are we back? Can you guys hear all that? We good? Do you guys hear what I said earlier? I'll feel bad for Ruka if Umi takes advantage of her. I think she doesn't. She don't deserve all the hate that she's getting now. She deserves some of the hate. I mean, what she's doing is wrong. But the problem is people are just not considering that Ruka is a kid. That's kind of the problem. It's like, okay, she's also still a kid. She needs to take responsibility for her actions and realize what she did wrong. She needs to grow up a little bit, ironically. But it's still not okay. F hand. Yep, all good. But yeah, no. So what I was saying is like the whole scene with Kazuya is like, pretty much he's like, okay, you guys got to consider he's horny as fuck. He loves this girl, and she sits next to him, and he can't touch her. He's gonna lose his goddamn mind. Perfect. Stupendous. Let's watch a video about underwear with my girl. Totally normal too. Yes, the music choice is now perfect. Okay, that was perfect. She tells him about the play here because she was trying to allude to wanting to give him a ticket. I live next door. You're wrong, Yaimori-san. Minnie is under the impression that their relationship would just stagnate forever, and yet Kazuya right here sees Chizuru's concerned about Minnie. She has her play, she has school, and she still takes time out of her day to meet him despite all of the concerns, including the fact that she's breaking rental rules. He knows Minnie's wrong. He sees the proof in front of his eyes. But if you say something long enough, if you repeat something long enough, it becomes reality. One of the things that happens with anxiety that's very dangerous. That's how delusion works basically. Is that when your thoughts start to become reality, right? What you're thinking in your head starts to become the reality. I think that in many ways kind of reflects the recent chapter with 426, right? The problem is that Kazuya's thoughts literally became reality, right? He made it into reality. Whereas 218 is kind of the flip, right? Reality is shaping your thoughts, right? Here it's the flip. Thoughts are shaping reality. Mizuho has always been good to me. There's no way she just lead me on. He literally said she led me on in the recent chapter. She fucking jerked me around, dude. Oh, wait, whoops. Come on. Why'd they make him look like this? At least make him look handsome for the zoom in. They make Chizuru look gorgeous, and they draw Kazuya like nothing. God damn it. God. Look at how they massacred this scene. Look at how this is arguably one of the most important scenes. God damn, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Like, at least they kept the lighting. And, oh no, look at what they did to him. Look at what they did to him. What did they do to my boy? What have they done to my boy? What did they do to my boy? And then look at Chizuru. Look at Chizuru. She's perfect. She's perfect. Dude, come on. And, oh, come on. Well, the joke didn't even land either. The joke didn't even land either. There's supposed to be a good fucking joke here. And it doesn't land at all. Right? Look at this. Look at this. Chizuru just fucking stares at him. As long as it takes, huh? As long as it takes, huh? And then Kazuya's like, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? Joke just doesn't land. No, she said, I'll do my best, not I'll give it a real shot. She said, I'll do my best, not I'll give it a real shot. I do find okay, so I found the direction kind of funny here. They have her go in, close the door, open it, and then do this. I don't know why they did that. Is that supposed to be a nod to the 3 months and how she, like, closed the door at first and then she opened it? Or are they trying to be, like, clever here? But that's not how the scene plays out. She says this before going into the door, and then she closes the door. I don't know. I don't like it's cute. it's cute, but sends a weird message. It's cute. She goes into the door. She closes the door and then steps out, and then as if to correct herself. But that's not how this scene plays out. That's not the point of the scene. Chizuru is not correcting herself. Chizuru is just making it clear what she's going to do. They framed it as though she was correcting herself. But the whole scene prior was about her correcting herself. This is her being very straight with him. So I don't like that this is the scene where they use it to show, oh, she's correcting herself. There's a weird directional choice here that I'm not a big fan of. God damn, what did they do to my poor boy? Spring was nearly upon us. He roars again. Okay, so they're not adapting 243 here. Okay, that makes sense. So next chapter is 243, 244. You're making me blind. Wait, after all that, we get this episode title? I love that. After everything, the next episode's called Brawn Girlfriend. What the fuck? It's weird. They show a lot of the footage from this episode is 236, or sorry, 243 and 244. I saw no footage from 245. That's odd. There's no footage from 245. Are they seriously just going to adapt 2 chapters? No way. This episode was only 3. Yeah, this episode was 240, 241, and 242. Would they really adapt only 2 episodes in a chapter? Or sorry, 2 episodes in a thing? If that's the pace that they're going for, they could end it at the start of the Kohab. Yeah, it's possible now because this is episode 8. We only have 4 more episodes left. If they pace themselves correctly, they could end it right as they move in together. Oh, it's totally possible. If that's what they do. All right, if they like really, really take their time with episode 243 and 244, oh, it's totally possible. Wow, are they really gonna just okay? I'm down with it. I'm okay with them slowing down. That's awesome. This episode was atrocious. Not like straight up. It just has a lot of visual errors. I would say some scenes had really good music choices. Some scenes had really good direction. Some stuff was really good. But just the art in general was a fucking shit show. The art was a shit show. The art was all over the fucking place. But a lot of the direction was pretty decent. The art just fell apart like crazy. Sometimes the most handsomes can look ugly as fuck. I'm not gonna excuse. This is just bad. This is just bad direction. Like they just don't have the time to work on Kazuya. Let's just be fucking real. That's the reality of the situation. It's not. Oh, he just looks ugly because you're looking at it differently. No, it's not an artistic direction. They literally just don't have time. This is just time constraints. You know, Chizuru have been breaking rules since the beginning. Yes, I know, but in this particular case, it's like arguably more dangerous. Like, and it's important for Kazuya to recognize that. Like, she's going out of her way to straight up break the rules. It's not like subtly breaking the rules like before, where you could kind of skirt around it. No, she's just straight up breaking them. Like, there's no ifs, whats, or buts. You know, so that's what I mean. That's just kind of what I mean. Like she's straight up breaking the rules, completely going out of her way to do it, just specifically for him, you know. Whereas before it was kind of like, oh well, she kind of was, she kind of wasn't, but she was. But here she's making it clear she's doing it for him, you know. Okay, so yeah, that's the episode. I can finally mute myself. Am I finally stopped listening to myself in the background? Jesus Christ. I was getting so tired of that. I'm going to have to see how I can fix that. I don't know what the dealio is. I don't know how I'm going to fix that, but I'm going to have to work on that. Anywho, yeah, so that's it. We watched the episode. It was a 2-hour stream. Pretty quick. Kind of blitzed through it. It's a pretty fun episode. Pretty decent. I think a lot of the comedy landed pretty well, except near the end. That's kind of where the comedy started not working. But the comedy was landing really well at the very beginning. We found some interesting stuff. We found some interesting details. The idea of the smile. He wants to believe in the smile. And now he like clearly doesn't believe in the smile anymore. You know, that smile is just like, oh yeah, I don't like if anything, Kazuya's actions in 426, it like literally reflect his lack of belief in the smile. He doesn't fucking believe in it anymore. You know? He looks jaded upon seeing that smile again because whereas before he was in denial, in chapter 16, he was in denial, only to realize the truth. Here it's the opposite. Here, his every desire is to beat the meat to Ruka. And when the smile ultimately comes back, it rings hollow, right? He doesn't believe in this smile anymore because he just betrayed it. Why should I believe in this smile if I'm going to react this way towards Ruka, right? Right. I was betrayed by her a whole bunch already. And I just gave in to my feelings for Ruka. Why should I believe in this smile? So when you see Kazuya in 426, he just doesn't believe in the smile anymore. He doesn't. He doesn't trust that smile anymore. He doesn't believe in it. He looks at that smile with jaded eyes. He's like, there it is again. There's that smile again. I can never fucking escape it. It's going to haunt me for the rest of my days. He's become jaded. And I think that's kind of the important idea of the smile in the very end there. That's the whole point of that. That Kazuya has become kind of jaded to the smile. That he doesn't believe it anymore. It rings hollow. The very action he took not only hollows out the smile, but proves why it's hollow. The action he took hollows out the smile, but the very idea that he took it in the first place, the very reason he took it in the first place, in of itself proves the smile is the smile is hollow, because desire overwhelmed love, right? Desire took control of love. So his love for Chizuru felt kind of hollow, even though it's persisted despite the desire. It feels more hollow. You know, it's never going to go away no matter what desire he feels for Ruka. And yet at the same time, it feels hollow simply because he took that action towards Ruka. He's literally hollowing out as a person. It's kind of interesting. I think there's a little more to it, but I'll delve into that tomorrow. I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm kind of getting there with the smile, but I haven't like nailed the coffin in. So I haven't put the nail in properly. So we'll see. I'll see. I feel like there's a little more to the smile that I haven't quite ironed out. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, remember to do all the fun stuff. Consider supporting me on Patreon. I would really appreciate it. Consider sharing some ideas and interesting stuff if you're interested. And join the Discord and talk about all that fun stuff. And of course, yeah, I'm trying to stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So yeah, speaking of which, see you guys tomorrow. So have a good night, good day, wherever you are. And for the people who are watching this later, hope you enjoyed and share any interesting details that you might have noticed too.